celebration of life for Chris, and I know this is not easy, and if the fellows are still chatting here, I'm going to just mute them. Okay, I think we're good. Anyway, I will try to get through this in one piece, and I know I'm among friends, so you'll help me as well. And I know that what we're doing here today is important for us, and it's also important for Chris. Absolutely, he was a dear friend, and we will miss him terribly. And that's one of the hard things. But I also want to warn you that I may say some things that are a bit off color or inappropriate, because it's really the only way to embody what Chris was and what I saw him as. And so you have to put on your let the water roll off your back kind of attitude. Okay. So I'd like to start by saying that anytime anybody gets together at mosquito control to talk about someone who's not there, it's usually not a good thing, but we'll be sure to keep it a good thing. So when I first met Christopher Giles, Laidlaw Bell, I learned he hated that, so occasionally I'd call him Giles, and that was always good. I was working over at a flight school across the way, and they all wanted some instrument instruction in case they needed to evacuate and go fly in bad weather. And I had just been through a rough patch and was recently divorced at the time, and just a tiny waif of what I am now, just a young Christian gentleman. And yeah, this gets worse. So anyway, in walks this crew with Nick and Dennis and a fellow named Kent, who's also no longer with us, and Chris and Chuck. And I did not know how to read this group. I was intimidated by them. They all had a lot more experience than I did, but they were very respectful. But mostly what stood out to me was that Chris was the embodiment of Crocodile Dundee. He was absolutely, I mean, he had his blue jeans on and his belt that I think today would pass for gay pride, and boots with a very pointy toe, and very large sunglasses, a few scars, and an amazing accent. And we were fast friends, actually, all of us, and it really kind of went from there. So what I learned very quickly was that he was a dichotomy, and I'm going to use some of the words that he would use too, because he absolutely delighted in the English language, and he and I enjoyed the banter tremendously. You could actually almost see everybody else rolling their eyes sometimes when we were chatting. So, but he would go to the gym so that he could keep his hyper alloy super combat chassis attractive for all the ladies. Sorry, Jimmy. And then as soon as he walked out of the gym, he'd light up a smoke. And he said that if looks could kill, that everybody who saw him leaving the gym they were just, how dare you, with the cigarettes. And I think in the time that I knew Chris, just 14, 15 short years, he probably smoked 500,000 cigarettes. I mean, it was absolutely astonishing. He always told me that, and this is my first very inappropriate thing, he always told me, well, what doesn't kill you will make you stronger. And I just kept saying to him, they're going to kill you. And he'd say, it's all right, you know. He didn't. Choose the poison. Yes, he did. Chose his poison. So he was to me, and I'm sure somewhat different to each of you, but equal parts Peter O'Toole, Jane Goodall, except for cats and a man instead of a woman, and 1/3 8th grade boy. Never left 8th grade, especially with this level of perversion and that sort of thing. Anyway, I'm going to show you a video in just a second, but you have to put yourself in the mindset. Just tuck away the grief for just a moment and watch what I have to show you here. He was very much what I would call an agent provocateur in my life. It was the beginning of the end, right? I had Chuck sort of helping me walk the fine Christian line, and Chris on the other shoulder with his pitchfork and cigarettes and such. Anyway, he came in one day and said, "You got to see this joke, you got to see this video." I don't think that I ever laughed so hard in my life, and I'm just going to show it to you right now real quick. Can we make it nice and loud? We'll try again here in just a second, get some volume behind it.